Hello, I'm Supt Bourner. I'm the local policing unit commander for the borough of Solihull. It's now April 2013. You might not realise that by the weather, but spring has sprung, and during springtime we think about growth and really positive things for the future and good things ahead as the summer approaches. I'm here at Jaguar Land Rover, the load lane plant right at the heart of Solihull Borough, and Jaguar Land Rover reflects exactly what growth is all about. JLR is a company that has a massive impact, not just locally but regionally, nationally and internationally. And during the current challenging economic times, Jaguar Land Rover is a beacon of hope, creating employment opportunities which bring hope for local people and people further afield, which in turn has a massive and very positive impact on local people's lives. Jaguar Land Rover also recognise the important role they play as part of our local community here, and later on I'm going to introduce you to Mick Perkins to tell you a little bit more about their work here locally. In April we also reflect back on last year, and I'm delighted to say that crime is at an all-time low. In fact, between March 2012 and April 2013, 1,852 people in Solihull were not victims of crime. That's 1,852 fewer victims of crime. I've done some maths, and without referring to my notes, which I'm holding here behind my back, if we add that up, that means there's 463 Range Rovers full of people have not been victims of crime. That's fantastic news. And I'd like to take the opportunity to pay tribute and say a huge thank you to Solihull police colleagues and West Midlands police colleagues for the work that they do tirelessly 24/7, 365 days of the year. But those results are not solely down to policing. They are fundamentally based on the strength of the relationships that we have with our partners and local people. So a huge thank you to you. You make the difference. You are such a big part of the fact that Solihull Borough is the safest that it has ever been. But we're never complacent, and in recent weeks we have had some challenges in terms of vehicle crime. We have started to see some increases in vehicle crime. We're working really hard to tackle offenders, but we're asking for your help as well. You can help us help you. Don't leave valuables on show. Put your stuff away, particularly if you've got tools in your vehicle, which seem to be the article of choice that thieves are stealing. Don't make it easy for thieves to steal your stuff. Take it out, put it away. Together we can bring vehicle crime down. But as I've often said before, policing is not solely about crime. There are so many things that we do, and what I'd like to do is tell you here in my original notes. We've recently published on the internet our Solihull policing plan for 2013-14. It's yellow, which shows spring and signs of growth, and it's got some blue in it for policing. I'd encourage you to take a look on the internet, have a little bit more of a look at the detail. Within there, some of the key things that we tackle are community concerns. And because I'm at JLR and I've been talking about vehicle stuff, I thought it was right and proper that we had a bit of a vehicle theme this month. Speeding, antisocial behaviour relating to off-road motorbikes and inconsiderate parking are things that we're working really hard on locally, and shortly I'm going to introduce you to Sergeant Carol Dodd, the neighbourhood sergeant for the Elmdon and Linden team, who are doing loads and loads of work, particularly in Elmdon Park around off-road bikes, and who are currently working really hard with colleagues here at Jaguar Land Rover, who in terms of their commitment to the local community have been working tirelessly with us to tackle and recently resolve some concerns re parking, and again doing more around that. So more of that later when Carol tells you about the local work. On the subject of Linden Park, many of you may be aware that earlier on this year one of our colleagues from Carol's team was viciously assaulted by a group of youths in Elmdon Park. We arrested a number of people as a result of that. Sadly, in terms of the evidence, there is insufficient evidence to bring offenders to justice for that attack. But what I am really pleased to say is that our colleague has returned to work. He's been back at work for many weeks now. I actually shared a cup of tea with him this morning, and his dedication and commitment to public service is reflected in the fact that he's now back with us. He's working hard, protecting local communities and is such an important part of our team. And I know that when that happened, both he, his team and all of us at Solihull Police and across the West Midlands were very, very touched by the messages of support that came from local people. And that's been such a big part of him coming back to work and continuing to make a difference in your lives. So thanks from me on his behalf for everything that you have done to support him, and also for everything you do every day to support local policing here across Solihull. Thanks for watching as always. We're looking forward to a fantastic 2013. Everything we do is about our work with partners and local people and with local organisations here in the borough who bring hope. And in that respect, I'm now going to hand over and introduce you to Mick Perkins to tell us a little bit more about the work of Jaguar Land Rover. I'm joined now by Mick Perkins. Mick is the Business Protection Site Manager here at the Lode Lane plant in Solihull. Mick, tell us a little bit more about what goes on here.
Okay, Jaguar Land Rover had a base here as the Land Rover site since 1948, and it is the home of Land Rover production. The site is over 300 acres in size, and we employ over 6,000 manufacturing employees. We build here the Defender, the Discovery, the all-new Range Rover and the Range Rover Sport.
And I know that Jaguar Land Rover are growing significantly at the moment, a huge success story in the current very challenging economic climate. I talked earlier on about the importance of employment and jobs for people and the positive impact that that has on local communities and people's lives. I know as well through the relationships that we have with JLR just how seriously you take your relationships within the local community. And I know recently you've been working really, really hard with the neighbourhood policing team and with Solihull Council to address some inconsiderate parking issues in and around Dove House Lane, have actually solved those problems by working together and continue to work really, really hard as a group, because partnership working is what it's all about, to actually make a really positive impact within the local community. Can you tell us a little bit about how you do that?
Okay, yeah, certainly. At Solihull we host local residents and the Borough Council meetings. So we meet with our local residents to understand what their frustrations are, and we work with our partners inside to solve them, basically.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mick, ever so much for taking your time. I know you've had a really busy morning, and I actually know that we dragged you out of a meeting which was about discussing and looking at some of the local parking issues as well. So taking
Indeed.
the time to come and chat with me,
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Lovely.
Look forward to continuing to develop our local relationship with Jaguar Land Rover. And now we're going to go to Elmdon Park, where I'm going to introduce you to your local neighbourhood policing team sergeant, Carol Dodd.